Guys, you have to see the silver lining of this Signal group chat story. It kind of reduced my anxiety level overall because now I know that this bunch will never win a war against Canada. That's a relief, right? So this is the kind of situation where it's bad because they're dumb, but it would be worse if they weren't. You see what I mean? When someone is hell-bent on doing the worst possible shit in the world, you just can't help thinking, please be dumb, please. And they really didn't disappoint me this time, because they're not just dumb individually. This is the A team, all of them. The National Security Advisor, the Defense Secretary, the State Secretary, the Director of the CIA, the Director of the National Intelligence, the White House Chief of Staff, the Vice fucking President, and whatever the fuck this guy is, the Director of Alien Affairs or what. These are the most powerful people in the country except the President and the Doge guy. And they somehow all decided to download that obscure app that nobody heard of. I don't know about you, but I've never heard of Signal until this week. How come all of them already had that app? What a cool kids club. Looks like they all knew how to buy drugs online. Fucking A. Or maybe I should say Sigma. Some people say there's a Project 2025 training video that talked about how to use Signal to avoid leaving a trace when doing the coup. Maybe they all learned from there, who knows? I mean, they definitely look like they all took the same class. Also, I just learned that on Signal, when you invited a new member into the chat group, there will be an announcement in the chat box. So everyone in that war chat group saw this new guy coming in and they just kept on chatting without thinking who it was. Probably because Jeffrey Goldberg is a white male name. How bad can Jeff be, right? There's one person in the group though I want to talk about specifically. He's probably the lowest ranking member in the group by the name of Steve Witkoff. You should know that at the time when Witkoff was invited in the group, he was physically in Russia. Yep, he was probably connected to one of the Russian cell towers or even hotel Wi-Fi when he received the top secret. Some people lectured me about Signal's encryption and stuff. But come on, this Russia we're talking about. Spyware, hidden cameras, honey trap, you name it. Someone should ask Witkoff who he was sleeping with that night in Moscow. Encryption doesn't mean shit in Russia. North Korea can steal billions of bitcoins remotely. You think the KGB tails don't know how to peek into someone's phone? That Witkoff guy is not a seasoned diplomat or a experienced intelligence officer or anything like that. He was a real estate developer until 2020. And then during COVID, Trump put him in some kind of economic task force. That was his first public sector job, which lasted less than a year before he went back to real estate. So this current job is his first time working in diplomacy. He's 2 months into the job and he's already in charge of negotiating with Russia and Ukraine and the entire Middle East. And the statements he made about negotiation were like word by word Russian talking points. He was like, these regions speak Russian, so they want to join Russia. Dude, have you noticed what language the United States speaks? And there's no way the other people in the group didn't know where he was when you invited him into the group. They were all in the top foreign policy circle. There was no way they didn't know he was negotiating in Russia. So here's my question. Was that intentional? Was that a way of feeding intel to Putin without leaving a trace? I hope they're not that smart. I really hope so. If Trump had hired some smarter sidekicks, imagine the damage they could have done. If they were competent enough to not invite a journalist, nobody would have known this shit. And the Europeans would keep sharing their intel. Then imagine how much Putin would learn in 4 years. So thank you, Michael Watts. Thank you, Pete Hegseth, for saving the world.